A little disclaimer before starting this video. This list is not my opinion. This list is an indisputable fact, and if you disagree with it in any way, then you're just wrong. Enjoy the video. Now, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fans are known to be kind of passionate, so I could tell I'm gonna make some people mad with this video, but I don't really care because this is the correct ranking of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure parts. In last place for the worst part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is part 1. I don't think this is really a surprise to anybody because part 1 is the sole reason that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure doesn't have double its current fan base right now. People will watch part 1 and think the JoJo fans are like weird for watching this. It's just because part 1 is terribly boring, and it makes me feel like an idiot. I have no idea what's going on in part 1, and it's just not interesting at all. Aside from the very last episode where the boat explodes and Dio is somehow still alive after that. Anyways, this is definitely the worst part of JoJo. Coming in at our number 4 spot is part 3, Stardust Crusaders. Now I could tell that this one's gonna piss some people off because this part seems to be universally loved by the majority of the JoJo fans. And honestly, I can't even see why. I came into this one with such high expectations just to be let down by it. Part 3 was so terribly long. It was just painful to watch. The only thing that keeps it from being last place is the fact that stands are cool. They just stretched this part out for as long as humanly possible, and I really got tired of it near episode like 20. This is definitely a very overrated part of JoJo, and that's why it's number 4. Coming in at our number 3 spot is part 5. Now here we got another terribly long part that got boring at some points, but the difference between part 3 and part 5 is part 5 actually had a story going along the entire time, and part 3 was just, it felt like constant filler that was just introducing you to pointless stands every single episode for no reason. Part 5 had really cool characters for sure. Mista, Bucciarati, Giorno was cool. The main villain was cool. I can't even remember his name. And that's really the problem with part 5. I find that it's not really ingrained in my memory because it didn't really have any spectacular parts. Besides the characters, nothing in part 5 really stood out to me as being very good, and that's why it's number 3. Now coming in at our number 2 spot is just that, part 2. I really enjoyed watching part 2, not only because it had my favorite JoJo in it, but it also had some of the best characters in the show, like Caesar and the Pillar Men. It was overall just a really good part, and it kept me interested the whole way through. The climax fight with Cars was very good, and the fact that Joseph stayed alive the entire time while defeating Cars in the way that he did, I don't want to give away any spoilers or anything. It was just a really good part, but compared to number 1, it's not really that good. And coming in at number 1, the best part of JoJo's is part 4. I didn't really need to think about this one at all because it's just so painfully obvious. Part 4 is just I don't even know the word that I should use. It's a vibe. I could just watch part 4 all day long. I could sit down, watch 15 episodes of part 4 and not be bored at all. On top of that, it has the best character in the entire JoJo's franchise as far as anime goes so far, that being the main protagonist Yushikage Kira. And I'd go as far as to say that part 4 has the coolest stands in the entire show. I just love everything about part 4, and if you make it through part 1 and part 3, then you're definitely going to be in for a treat with part 4. It is very good. Well, that's the end of this list, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this undebatable top 5 list. This is the only order that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure parts should go in as far as rankings, and any other order is just wrong. I'll catch you guys in the next video.